Number 3617, Bozeman, altimeter 29er76.
Welcome back. If you're just now joining us, this is part 2 of a 2-part flight to Bozeman, Montana in the Cessna Citation Mustang. We are currently level at flight level 240, and let's just zoom in here. Let's see. Our ground speed has picked up a little bit. We've got 300 knot ground speed, indicating 235 knots. And we do have we're bucking about a 60 knot headwind, so all in all, not too shabby. And we're about 70 miles from the Dillon Vortex, actually 63 miles. So we'll be there before you know it, and we'll begin our descent into Bozeman a little before we get to that vortex. And so I'll take this opportunity just to chat a bit, and you just keep an eye and let me know if anything goes awry up here. We'll keep an eye out for our messages. So I just wanted to say a little bit about a few fun facts, I guess, about Bozeman. Hey, before I do, though, let's see. We look over here in the cabin. I'm just going to reach over here. If you'd like some refreshments, there are a number of options. Let's see. Looks like some Baileys there. There's some refreshments for adult beverages, I should say. Yeah, there's a few. Oh my goodness. So, let's close them back. You know, I don't think as the pilot command we should be entertaining those ideas. So we have that, and also another neat little feature. I don't think I've seen this on any other airplanes. If we press this button right here, play, you know, you can put in whatever music you like. This is the default music, and I might kill myself if I had to listen to it too long, but it's actually pretty good. But you can put in whatever music you like, and then you can also cut it off when you want to hear. So a couple of little features there. And Bozeman, I wanted to tell you a few fun facts about Bozeman. I like to do that when we're flying into a new destination. It is the county seat of Galatian County, Montana, and it's in the southwestern part of Montana, of course, in the United States. In 2010, the population was about 37,000 people, and it's growing. It's right now the 4th largest city in the state of Montana. Let's see what else. So, interesting fact, in the early 20th century in Galatian Valley, there was over 17,000 acres of edible peas harvested for both canning and seed. In the 1920s, canneries in the Bozeman area were major producers of canned peas. And at one point, Bozeman produced approximately 75% of all seed peas in the United States. The area was once known as Sweet Pea, the sweet pea capital of the nation, referencing the prolific edible pea crop. To promote the area and celebrate its prosperity, local businessmen owners began a sweet pea carnival that included a parade and a queen contest. The annual event lasted from 1906 to 1916. Promoters used the inedible but fragrant, colorful sweet pea flower as an emblem of the celebration. And in 1977, the sweet pea concept was revived as an arts festival rather than a harvest celebration, growing into a 3-day event that is one of the largest festivals in Montana. Fun fact, so if you participate and you become the queen, you could be Miss Sweet Pea, And I believe that is a term of endearment, known as a term of endearment. So, fun fact, another fun fact, Robert Redford has starred in a film that was filmed in downtown Bozeman. A river runs through it. Also, Brad Pitt was in that film. And the Horse Whisperer parts were of that movie, also starring Robert Redford, filmed in and around Bozeman. Also, Bozeman referred to in Star Trek numerous places. The Next Generation, let's see, there was a Star Trek Enterprise episode called Desert Crossing, and the Bozeman area was the fictional site of the Earth's first contact of an alien species, the Vulcans, in the film Star Trek First Contact, although the movie was not filmed in Montana. Okay, that didn't make sense. A starship also was named. The USS Bozeman appears or was mentioned several times in the television episodes Cause and Effect and All Good Things. I'm sure there's some Star Trekkies out there that are eating this up. Bozeman has been also mentioned in episodes of CSI New York because it's the hometown of the character Lindsay Monroe. So if you're a fan of that show, there you go. And what else can I tell you? Oh, the Mustang. I was going to mention Mustang. The little pony here reminded me. Let's zoom in down here to the pony. You see the Mustang. It reminds me very much of my first car, which was a 1966 Ford, which stands for Fix or Repair Daily, Ford Mustang. 1966. It had a 289 V8. Neat little car. My dad paid $600 for it. It was green, and it had nothing but an AM radio, 3-speed, and I wish I still had it. You know, it would be worth a lot more than, say, $600. So, there's some fun facts, and we are going to begin to prepare for our descent and arrival into Bozeman. So I'm just looking for my approach plate, which is right here. And to prepare, let's get in here. And first thing we want to do is let's hit our procedure button and select an approach. So I'm going to hide this monster. So we can go ahead and select approach. We'll say yes, and we want to use the ILS 12. Now, how do I know that? Well, I haven't heard the ATIS yet, but I'm almost sure that that is what we're going to want. So we're just going to go ahead and use that, and we're going to, the transition we want is White Falls. Is it White Falls? White something. Let's see. What is that? Whitehall. Vortac, which is the HIA Hotel India Alpha. Let's put that in there. And let's go ahead and load that approach. And we don't want to activate it yet, but we got the approach loaded in there. Mustang 0 Foxtrot 1, descend and maintain flight level, correction, descend and maintain 14,000. Okay, out of 24,000 for 14,000 for 5-1 for 0 Foxtrot 1. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start down. So let's get in here where we can see. Get down, I'm going to start easing the power back. We came out of the cruise detent, and let's see if I can get this bird going down. It's a little trouble sometimes getting this. There it is. And let's go ahead and start her descending, and then we'll reset the altitude. So probably about 1,000 foot, 800 foot. Actually, let's go with about 800.
We have a jet that's climbing. He's going to pass.
Actually, maybe even 700. Okay, so I'm going to get us on down to our clearance altitude, which was 14,000. There we have it.
Okay, thank you very much. Just checking for me.
And we are now in the descent. And let's see, we are currently 19 miles from the Dillon Vortex. And our ground speed is 270 knots. Still have that headwind component, but as we go down, we'll see that diminish. So we should be able to maintain this head speed, the ground speed. And I do notice the sync. Also, I don't know if you saw this. Let me get us in here. Our cabin altitude was down to a little over 1,000 feet, and when we were at flight level 240. Now that we're descending, you can see that the cabin is in a climb at 200 feet a minute, and the elevation's coming up. Our destination elevation, we're still okay on our Delta P here, 7.8, but yeah, we're going to climb on up to 4,470, and this will be at 0, the Delta P when we get there. So I guess that's all good. And 13 miles from Dillon and descending through flight level 220 at a fairly slow descent, 700 feet a minute. So we're going to keep an eye out when we get into this soup here. We're going to need to come on with some anti-ice. And let's see if we can go ahead and pick up the ATIS. Actually, while you were away taking a nap, I tuned in some frequencies. So I've got the ATIS 135, 425, yeah. So I'm just going to monitor that and see if we can pick it up. Oh yeah. So we don't have to leave the frequency. We can hear it. I can still hear center if they call us.
Sky conditions, ceiling 4,600, overcast. Temperature -11, -1, altimeter 2900, visual, runway 11, ILS, runway 12, runway 12, VFR aircraft,
ILS 12. Delta. We have Delta. We'll hear it one more time. Maybe. Or did we just go below an altitude at which we can pick it up in the descent? I don't know. Highly irregular. I'm going to leave it on COM 1, monitoring that. We'll see if we hear it again, but it was Delta. So we got Delta. Continuing to descend, and I'm going to review the approach. So the Whitehall VOR, which is over here, Hotel India Alpha, we can cross that VOR probably at about no lower than 10,000 feet. So yeah, we're in the turn now. So then after that, we can descend to as low as 9,400 feet, but we'll probably just maintain 10,000 until we get past the Hebi, H-E-B-I-B-Y. It's a fix. And then we can come down to 9,000 after that, and then 8,000 once we pass Thesey. We can get down to 8,300, so I'm going to use the approach plate to help me descend, and we've been cleared down to 4,000. So we'll see how that goes. Probably speed this descent up just a little bit. 700 feet a minute dialed in. We'll go ahead and make it 800. Be sure we get down. We want to be probably around 10,000 by the time we get to the Whitehall VOR.
Bozeman Airport information, Charlie 1650.
There's the ATIS. And now it's Charlie.
Snow.
4 miles visibility in snow.
600 overcast. Temperature -112. Wind -18. Altimeter 2994. Visual. Runway 11 and ILS. Runway 12. MaNiA departing. Runway 11 east. Runway 12. VFR aircraft. City direction of flight. All aircraft read back short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact. Airport information, Charlie.
Charlie.
6500. Zulu. Wind calm. Visibility 4 in snow. Sky conditions. Ceiling 1600. Overcast. Temperature -112. -18. Altimeter 2994. Visual. Runway 11 and ILS. Runway 12.
I think he said 29 or 9 or 4. That's what it sounded like. I'll have to go with that. Mustang 0 Foxtrot 1, contact Big Sky approach now 118.975. Big Sky approach on 18.975 for 0 Foxtrot 1. So long. Okay, so that is this one. We can put that one in there. Big Sky approach, Mustang 510 Foxtrot 1, checking in, descending to 14,000. We are currently 18,500. We have information, Charlie. Mustang 510 Foxtrot 1, Big Sky approach, good morning. Proceed direct to Whitehall. Descend and maintain 1,000. Down to 1,000, direct Whitehall for 0 Foxtrot 1. Okay, so that wasn't the most graceful radio call ever made, but we can go on down to now 1,000. And let's see, we're 24 miles from Whitehall, 17,000, so we have time to get down there. Ground speed 295 knots, indicating 225. Winds definitely subsiding as we go lower. We're 52 knots, mostly a crosswind now. So, yeah. And I do see we're going to go into the clouds here, so we want to go ahead and let's go ahead and start getting on some anti-icing. So let's get in here where we can see. There's our engine anti-ice and our wing stabilizer, which does use engine bleed air. The rest of it's electric windshield heat, and you can see the boots on the airplane on the wings right there. And so if we accrue any ice, which we very well may, we can manually pop the boots. I think they cycle about every 2 minutes on auto, so we can manually cycle them if we pick up some ice, and we may need to do that. We'll just keep an eye out. And since we have crossed the Dillon VOR, we can go ahead and arm our approach. So I'm going to do that now. Use our procedure button, and we want to activate the approach. And it is now activated. You can see we're direct Whitehall, and I want to zoom in. There we go. So we're down 16,000. Direct Whitehall. Let's zoom in a little bit more. So this is where we get a little busy on the arrival phase. And so we're just getting everything prepared, and let's go through the rest of our descent checklist. We've checked our ATIS, the pressurization is wacky. We have called approach, our altimeter set, and fuel looks good. We've got about 1,900 pounds left. Ice protection is as required, and landing data We have not set that, and we can. It's a little shaky. Good luck trying to get it set. I need these to be off. Off.
Delta 23, keep us at about discretion, maintain 15 now.
Come on, off. And then we can put in our VREF on. There we go. And our approach on. There we go, landing data. That's good. That's it. And our passenger warning sign, let's get those on. 15,000. I'm going to go ahead and back off on our power a little bit.
The wind to 220 and to 140.
Slow us up just a little bit. And I think we are in the clouds, yes, we're IMC. And so good thing we put on our heat, and because the outside temp is 19 degrees Fahrenheit, 6 degrees below the standard. It's pretty cold, I'd say. 19. And we've set our altimeters. Yes, we've done that. Okay. Just a few other checks. Fuel transfer knob is in the off position. We've checked fuel quantity and balance. Anti-ice, good. Our anti-skid switch here is on. And we can go ahead and let's come on with our landing lights just to free us up later on. We're at 14,000 feet in the clouds, but we'll go ahead and put those on. And we're now crossing the VOR in the turn. I'm going to go ahead and speed our descent up a little bit. So we can't go below 9,400 before this intersection. However we say that. HEBIV. Yeah, HEBIV. But 1,000, we're still 2,400 feet above it, so ease back on our power a little bit more. Keep us coming down. Picking up a little turbulence, a little light chop here in the descent. And you can see why we don't want to get too low before HEBIV, because we do have some high terrain. And that's indicating 1,000 to go. But frankly, we're at 12.4, so it's more than 1,000. Is that a bug or what? I don't know. I'm not taking anything for granted in this airplane. Now, one thing that is interesting, you'll see, right now the CDI is navigating via the GPS. Once we get established on the approach, it will automatically tune in and switch over to the localizer. Pretty neat trick. And so we do need to come out of the nav mode into approach mode at that point. Hopefully everything will work well for us. And we're getting down here to 1,000. Now I wonder, oh I see, I think that's 11.8. There's my problem. So that needs to come on down, don't it? And we're into some sleet. Yeah, let's get us on down there. 11. Let's have a hard time getting this thing to engage for me. There it is. Sierra Foxtrot 1, descend and maintain 900,000. Out of 11,000 for 900,000. 0 Foxtrot 1. So we'll come on down to 9,000. Powering back just a little bit more, about 65% or so. And that should be good for the rest of the approach. We'll use the speed brakes if we need to. So after heave, I'll double check my approach plate. We can come down as low as 8,300 until we get to Thies. Thies is only 7 miles away. So we need to pretty much keep this descent coming. And once we pass Thies, then we'll go ahead and set in 8,000. Mustang 0 Foxtrot 1, you are 6 miles from Thies. Maintain 8,000 until established on the localizer. Clear for the ILS-1 to approach. Mustang 0 Foxtrot 1, roger, we are cleared for the approach. We'll maintain 8,000 until established. So he's given us permission to come down to 8,000. And I'm going to go ahead and increase our rate of descent. And I think I will extend the speed brakes. And I'm going to bring our altitude on down to 8,000. Keep us in the descent. Airspeed slowing up. So a little slow for when we make this turn here. We don't want to be too fast. We'll go ahead and retract the speed brakes. And that got us down to about 160. Still got a pretty healthy ground speed there of 190. See, our wind's turned around now from our tail, so we got a little bit of a tailwind. So the winds are mostly calm on the field. You can see it's snowing like crazy. Uh-oh. Whew. Scare me there. Don't quit on me now, baby. Don't quit on me now. And now that we're turning at Thies, we can go ahead and come on down to 8,000. So we crossed Thies slightly higher than we could have, but not much higher. So we're going to very nicely level off, hopefully about 8,000 just before the turn here, which is about 3 miles away. And we're just going to watch as the autopilot works with the Garmin 1000 to dial in this approach. You can see we're picking it up at 109.3. That is the frequency for the localizer. The identifier is India Bravo Zulu November, and we're making the turn. You can see GPS is in the terminal mode. Yeah, everything's lovely. So we just want to watch it, and when it switches over to localizer, we're at 8,000 level. Airspeed starting to dissipate. May actually extend our speed brakes one more time. So we're leveling off. And we'll drop our, once we get on the localizer established, here it comes. Final approach course. We should, if everything works according to plan, we should see this change over CDI to the localizer.
Delta 2318, Bozeman Tower, runway.
There it is. Certainly did. And you can see now we have a glide slope indicator. We're on the final approach course.
Delta 2318, turn left, Charlie, taxiway, tax to Trouble via Charlie, Alpha, Margaret Mike.
Charlie Alpha, Contact Point,
Mustang 0 Foxtrot 1, contact Bozeman Tower, now 118.2. Mustang 0 Foxtrot 1, switching. Bozeman Tower, let's see, 118, I've got it up here, so we got to move the comms up here. And let's switch it. There we go. There we go. Now let's go into the approach mode here. And we're going to go ahead and bring in our first stage of flaps and get our gear down. Okay, approach mode set in. Bozeman Tower, Mustang 510 Foxtrot 1 on the ILS 12 approach. Mustang 510 Foxtrot 1, Bozeman Tower, runway 12, cleared to land. Cleared to land, runway 12 for 0 Foxtrot 1. So I'm going to have to switch this. So we're descending through what we had set in, the 8,000, going down the glide slope. Right now we are just outside of the final approach fix, MaNiA.
Wind 1608.
Airspeed's about 120 or so in the descent, slightly above glide slope, but everything looks good, and we'll just do a final landing check. Speed brakes are retracted, landing gear down 3 green, flaps set for takeoff approach, and pressurization getting close to being 0. Yaw damper is still on. We'll leave that on until we get a little closer in. And I want to just finish briefing the approach. The minimum descent altitude is, or decision height, it's a precision approach, is 4,643 feet. So we will not go any lower than that. See how it looks outside. I don't see an airport, but I have all the confidence that we will. Ease our power back. So we're 5 miles out right now from the missed approach point. Doing 130 knots on glide slope, on center line. Couldn't ask for a more perfect autopilot approach anyway, and I do see the runway lights, runway's in sight. Still got some snow. Well, we'll go ahead and let George fly us on down a little bit closer we're still at 5,800 feet. We're still 1,400 feet above, or 1,200 feet above the missed approach point.
Okay, so make center on 132.4.
So, Cessna Mustang, Citation Mustang, yes. Not too shabby, I will say. If we can get down and taxi in and shut down without crashing, I'll give her a thumbs up. You know, I've like to say, any landing we walk away from is always a good landing. Now, since we have ice protection on, we will not use the 30-degree flap setting. We'll stay at 15. Let's take a look at the boots. They're clear right now. That's good. All right. We're doing 119 knots. We'll probably cross the threshold around 100 knots. And it's just, speed's just nicely coming off, keeping the throttle set right about 65% in one. So everything looks good to me. And I want to cut the autopilot off by switching off the yaw damper. And let's ease that power back. Hard to say, did I touch down? So easy, I didn't even feel it. Speed brakes up. And let's get on the brakes. Good braking action. 0 Foxtrot 1, right next taxiway of Able. 0 Foxtrot 1, roger, we are able. And 0 Foxtrot 1, monitor this frequency, taxi to parking via Delta. Parking via Delta, 0 Foxtrot 1. All right. We made the first turn off. Barely. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Bozeman, Montana. And this is Delta. Off to the right there is the commercial terminal. Get clear of the active here and we'll clean up the airplane. And let's raise up our flaps up and speed brakes up, and we'll cut off our anti-collision off, taxi light, and let's get rid of our stall heat, and we'll cancel this message out right here. Get rid of this. All of our anti-icing off. And there we go. That's off. Guess we can unhide that yoke now, and we'll taxi on into parking. So, you know, I've kind of moaned and groaned a little bit about some of the bugs in the airplane, and you saw the pressurization issue and a few little minor things, but you know, it really performed very well all in all on this flight. So when things go good, and it very well could be my system. I mean, I've seen many very positive comments about this airplane, so you know, don't judge it just based on not complaining. It really is a pretty well modeled airplane. I think that I expect a little bit more, but this is an older, I guess, model. We're going to be flying Cessna's Carenado Citation, newly released, and you know, sometimes they have a lot of bugs, those Carenados do. So we'll see how it compares to this. We're going to fly that probably next before we fly Eaglesoft's Cessna Citation X. Eaglesoft's Citation X, it's a great airplane. The Citation X is, man, it is fast, but you know, the model is, it could stand some updating. Honestly, the textures are not great. So it's snowing like crazy here at Yellowstone Jet Center. There we go. So we're going to shut down. Let me grab my shutdown checklist, and we'll first set our parking brake. And we've got our anti-ice off. Our passenger's safety switch is off. Taxi light. There we go. Now it's off. And it would cut off our fan over here. There we go. Avionics power right there. And we should let these engines run stable for 2 minutes prior to shutting them down. So we'll shut the left one down first. Right there's the cutoff, and right there's the cutoff. So they're spooling down, and while they're spooling down, we'll go ahead and shut off our nav lights. Nav lights off. Panel lights are already off. Oxygen shut off lever. May have to hide this yoke to get to it. There it is. So we pull that off, unhide that, and what else? Battery switch can go in the off position, and standby switch is amber. We'll go to off there. Everything winded down. Sounds like gyros. You know, this is, I know there's AHRS systems, you know, for the electronic flight displays, but these, maybe they have gyros. They sure sound like gyros. Can see some snow accumulating on the windshield. Look at there on the boots. Some snow accumulating. So we want to open the door, let our passengers out, and I think they're going to go skiing here. And we can do that by hitting our little thing here, and let's see, exterior. Let's go ahead, main exit. Open that puppy up. And let's put out the red carpet for them. Carpet rolled out. There we go. We'll go ahead and open up the rear baggage. Let's get the wheels chalked, and let's get some covers on the pitot. The engine covers covered up. Let's put some cones out. And now we'll jump out. Let's just find out what the big deal is here at Bozeman. So it's a tight little fit. Bear with me as I get my big old butt out of here. This is a exercise in dexterity. There we go. There's a shot of the cabin. I don't know if I've had a chance to show you yet, but just in case I haven't, in case of an emergency, be pretty awkward, I would say, but you know, it might be an emergency. And watch your step. Jackson, nope, this is not Jackson Hole. This is Bozeman, Montana. So get out of here, take a step down. Yep, we're building up some ice on these wings. Look at there. Already. So that anti-ice did the trick for us, thankfully. It would have been a bad day if it hadn't have. So here we are. Got a few nice jets out here. I think those are some G5s over there, if I'm not mistaken. Like to get one of those. But for right now, we are flying the Mustang. Okay, well, that's it for this airplane, the Cessna Citation Mustang. Let me just get us turned around where we can see this thing. There we are. So it's snowing pretty good, and something crazy going on with that tire there. But yeah, she's no worse for the wear. I think we definitely, oops, it's about to bump my head on that wing. I think we just did okay coming in here into Bozeman. So we'll be flying out of here soon enough in the Carenado's version of the Citation, and I think it's an S something. I have to look it up. I know I've got it in the hangar, and they're prepping it for our next flight. So that's it for this part, and I thank you for watching, and I will certainly look forward to seeing you on a future flight. Thanks for subscribing if you're a subscriber, and I bid you farewell. So long from FS MaNiA. Have a good day.
Winner 3617, Bozeman is 10 o'clock, 10 miles.
Yep, sign up right there.
Winner 3617, cleared visual approach. Runway 12, contact tower 118.2.
118, clear visual 150.